My lecture is on what is linguistics and what is translation. Why we have to study linguistics and why we have to study translation? Is there any connection between linguistics and translation? There is an interface between linguistics and translation. So if you want to do a translation work, you should know linguistics. What is linguistics? It is the scientific study of a language. What is translation? Translating or transmitting the message from one language to another language. So what is the object of linguistics and translation? It is language. So there we are studying or analyzing the structures of language in linguistics. In translation, what we are doing is we are converting the message from one language to another language, relaying a message from one language to another language. So it is very important. If you want to do the translation work, you have to know the structure of the language. So both for translation as well as linguistics, you should know the structure of language. Whether it is your mother tongue or some other language, you should know the structure of the language. That's why we should know about linguistics before going deeper into the translation studies. That's why I will talk about first the linguistics, what's the structure of a language, then the translation, tomorrow's section. So before that, we should know what are the types of translation. I told that rewording or converting a message from one language to another language. Then there are three types of translation. The first one is intralingual translation. What is intra? Within a language. So if you are translating a message within a language from the same language, you are converting a message from same language, that is called intralingual translation. Why we have to get that type of translation? Is it necessary to translate the content in the same language? Yes, it is. Because are you able to read Shakespeare in English? Are you able to read Shakespeare in English? No, it is not possible. For that you have to rewrite that one. Like that, I came to know that you are all from India, which is a multilingual, multicultural nation. So you belong to different languages. You might have ancient literature in your language, but you are not able to read it. Like that in Tamil also, there are Sangam literature, but we are not able to read the Sangam literature. The language of Sangam literature is different from modern Tamil. So for that purpose, we are doing the intralingual translation. That is what we call intralingual translation within the language. Then interlingual translation, that is what we call translation proper. Translating a content, a message from one language to another language. That is what we call interlingual translation. That is what we are going to learn in the whole training program. The third one is the intersemiotic translation. What is intersemiotic? One sign system to another sign system. From written language or to the symbols. You might have, when you are traveling in a road, you might have see a signboard, a child is carrying with a bag. That means there is a school nearby and bumps like this one, and it shows that there is a speed breaker there. Like that, when you are going in a very speed, you are not able to hear anything. And if you want to have a lift in any vehicle, what you will do? You have to do like this. So there is a equivalent word there. I need a lift in your vehicle. There is a statement there. But in the you are standing in the roadside, the car or any vehicle is passing very fastly. At that time, even if you cry, shout loudly, it is not clearable to the driver. That's why you are using the thumb sign. That is what we call the intersemiotic translation. These are the three types of translation according to Jacobson. There are many translators and theories, translation theories. They are put many translation theories, but among them, Jacobson's classification, this classification is holds good. It is very good classification. It covers everything. That's why, according to Jacobson, we are studying intralingual translation within a language, interlingual translating from one language to another language, intersemiotic from one sign system to another sign system. This is what we call as the types of translation. What is language? Language is a tool for communication. What is translation? Communicating the culture or any content from one language to another language. Communicating some message from one language to another language. If you want to communicate anything from one language to another language, you need some language. So here in linguistics we are studying about the language, the structure of the language. There we are applying those structures in translation. So any language, whether it is Hindi, Malayalam, Telugu, Tamil, Sanskrit, whatever the language may be, the structure is same. The structure of the language is same. So the linguistics deals with the structure of this language. So anybody knows what is the structure of your language? So this the linguistics concerned with the structure of language, it is divided into number of subsystems. Number of subsystems. All the subsystems join together to form a language. You know about your human body. So human body consists of head, nose, eyes, hands and legs, abdomen, like that. So whether it is same or different for a white man, Japanese, Tamil or Hindi, Sanskrit, is it different? No, whoever may be, the structure is same. If you say a human body, human, then that human, whether he belongs to any race, any language, the structure is same. Likewise, whether the language belongs to Dravidian group or Indo-Aryan group or Munda group or the foreign language, Indo-European group, the structure is same. It has some subsystem. The first one is the phonetics. What is phonetics? It deals with the sound system. The basic thing of the speech is the sound. The sound under phonetics we are studying about the sounds. How we are studying the sounds? How our speech organs are able to produce the sounds. With the help of this, we are studying about the speech organs. How we are using these speech organs to articulate some sounds. If what is the sound? The sound from the abdomen or the lungs. It starts from lungs and it is ever through our mouth. Without any stop in the mouth region, you are able to produce vowel sound. A, E, U, like that. You are producing. There is no obstruction in the mouth region. Then if you are able to release the voice through the nose, you are producing the nasal sounds. And if there are obstructions in the mouth region, then you are producing the consonants. This is very simple. By using your human speech organs, lungs and pharynx, lips, tongue, palate region, so you are using all these your speech organs to articulate some sounds. So these things we are studying under phonetics. Under phonetics, we are studying about the sounds. So, whenever some sounds are find out in any language, it is put up in the IPA chart, International Phonetics Chart. Every 10 years, it is revised. So, when some languages are innovated and there are some new sounds are there, then it is put up in the IPA chart. So these things we are studying under phonetics. Are you able to follow me? Yes. Then this phonetics consists of three system: articulatory, auditory, accusative phonetics. Then that will be studied elaborately when if you are interested to study linguistics. If you are very much interested to study linguistics, you can study those things. But time being, so the structure of the language consists of a subsystem phonetics. So why we know to study translation, why we have to know about the sound system? Transcribe some sounds to one language to another language, we should know. For example, the voice sounds are not found in Tamil, and there are 4 vargas in all other Dravidian languages: Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada. They have voiceless, voiced, aspirated, voiced aspirated. This distinction is not found in Tamil. Even in Tamil language, we won't find any voiced sound. Like that, you might come across such differences in your mother tongue also. So, what will you do? How will you translate those sounds which are not available? It is available in the target language and source language, but it is not available in the target language. You know what is meant by source language and target language? Yeah. So, there are some sounds which are available in the source language and it is not available in the target language. Then what will you do? You have to find out some way to express those things. So that is a problem in translation. There comes the phonological untranslatability. Phonological untranslatability. For these things, you should know what is phonetics, how these sounds are produced in any language. This is the very brief introduction about phonetics. Coming to another thing, the phonology. What is phonology? What is difference between phonetics and phonology? Phonology is the number of phonemes available. It gives rules and regulations to find out the number of phonemes available in a language. There is no function of this articulatory or the speech organs. There is no work for this articulatory organs in phonology. There we are using the Fike's principle to find out the phonemes. Phoneme is a minimal sound which makes the difference in the meaning of two words. Put, but, cut, like that. Pa is a phoneme, cha is a phoneme, cut, cha, put, but, pa, ba, cha, pa, ba, cha, pa, ba, cha. Pa, the first one, put is a sound, voiceless sound, ba is a sound, a voiced sound, and if you put your fingers here and you pronounce that voiced sounds, ba, ga, ja, like that, you can feel the vibrations there. So if you have that vibrations there, then you are producing the voiced sounds. So in a language, if there are no voiced sound, then what will you do? In English, there are so many fricative sounds, but those fricative sounds are not available in most of the Indian languages. In most of the Indian languages, I am telling that in most of the Indian languages. So for that, in Tamil, they used to write 3 dots with English F, fa, like that only they used to write. So in the earlier days, fa is transliterated as with 3 dots and fa. So like that, in phonology, by using the minimal pairs also, and also Pike's principle, already I told that linguistics is the scientific study of language. So here, by using the principles, we are analyzing the language and we are finding out the phonemes. Phoneme is a, what is a phoneme? Phoneme is a minimal sound unit which makes the difference between 2 words, like put, but. And I am not able to, in Tamil I know many examples, but I am not giving that because here you are, the whole India is sitting here, so multilingual. So I am giving examples from English only, and if you are able to produce me examples from your language, you are welcome. So this is about it. English, how many phonemes are there in English? Anybody knows? English has 40 phonemes. 40 phonemes. So in orthography you have only 5 vowels. Is it not? Only 5 vowels. But there are many phonemes for vowels. So those phonemes, by using the minimal pair, we are able to find out those things. These things we are studying under phonology. So are you able to find the difference between phonetics and phonology? Yes. So likewise, we can elaborate what is phoneme, what is minimal pair, all those things we study under phonology. So I am not elaborating these things because you should know linguistics plays an important role in translation. Then coming to morphology. The morphology. What is morphology? The study of word structure or the internal structure of the words. The internal structure of the words. So what is the internal? The word has any internal structure? Huh? Yes, how? Syllables are there. So a single word. Single may have a root. A root, a stem, affix. Affixes. Affix includes suffix, prefix, infix, suffix. So all those things comes under affixes. What is a root and what is a stem, and derivation and inflection, word formation, all those things we study under morphology. Then I will say what is a root. Root is the the embryo of the word. The embryo of the word. It gives the meaning. So when you are translating the words, you should not destroy the meaning of that word. So then you should know the root is the embryo which gives the meaning of that word. So dance. Dance, whether it is a root or a stem or a word. Dance, whether it is a word, a root or a stem, you can call that word. Dance, whether it is a noun or a verb. If you take a single word, word, noun. So I saw a dance. There it is noun. She dances well. There it functions as a verb. So dance may be a verb or a noun. Then whether it is a root or a stem. It is a root. Root. So if you want, you can add a plural form, dancer, noun, dancer, dances, like that. So it is going to take a suffix. When a word is ready to take a suffix, then it becomes a stem. A stem, a root is a root, and it gives the basic meaning of that word. When it starts taking some affixes or prefixes, it becomes a stem. So dance is a root, at the same time a stem, because it can take as dances or a dancer. Dancer is a stem. It's only a stem because it is not a root. So a root is a monomorphic. So stem may be a monomorphic, bimorphic, trimorphic, anything. So it is going to take dancers. Yes, a plural marker. So it is a stem only, it is not a root. Then affixes. There are prefixes. Prefixes you can see in English, impossible, intolerable, like that there are many verses. Suffixes, most of the Dravidian languages, even Indo-Aryan languages, they have suffixes. English has both prefixes and suffixes. Dravidian languages are suffixal languages. They don't have any prefixes. And infixes. Affix occurs before the stem, then it is prefix. After the stem, it is suffix. Within the stem, then it is called infix. Which language has infixes? Huh? No. Huh?
Most of the foreign languages have these infixes.
You should not state most of the general statement. Hindi? No. Any idea? Huh? Arabic to some extent, Hebrew. Hebrew is the inflectional language. No, they are suffixes. So they won't occur within the stem. That is the mistake made by the people. Strange plus s. People used to say, here is the infix. Yeah, stranger. So it is not, because it occurs after a stem. there is only one root. That root became the stem and it takes the affixes er, and stranger is a stem and it takes the suffix s. But within the stem, it should infix occur within the stem. I have one example. Surface will you?
Phonology, ma'am.
Huh?
In the word phonology, O is the infix.
No. I will show you.
You cannot have infixes in English.
Lumbabas is the Hebrew word which means come out. Then la, abas, both are is a single word, a single stem, and the womb form occurs in between the stem, within the stem. If you are able to see this one, you see the last one, last three words. What is a sentence? Arrangement of words. So what are the basic elements of a sentence? Marked means there may be adjective, adverbs, all those things may be there. But a simple sentence consists of three elements: subject, object, verb, in any language. That's why the world languages are classified into 6 types. In morphology, we study about inflection derivation. Word formation. What is inflection? Inflection affixes. The affixes are also divided into inflectional affixes and derivational affix. How do we differentiate inflectional affixes from the derivational affixes? So, when you add an affix to a word, if the grammatical category of that word doesn't change, then it is an inflectional affix. If the grammatical category of that word changes, then it is a derivational affix. How will you describe the kungum? Kungum, all the married women used to put the kungum in the forehead. In English culture, is it that? No. Then there are words, uncle. Uncle. In Tamil, we have number of terms for uncle and auntie. Even mother's sister, mother's brother, father's sister, father's brother, their spouses, and the neighbor who is living in our neighbor houses, all are addressed by auntie and uncle. And in a novel which reflects the culture of their Dravidian language, how will you translate that uncle? Whether it is a neighbor or your mother's sister's husband or your mother's brother. So we have the cross-cousin marriage. In India, we have cross-cousin marriage, but English culture don't have that type of marriages. They will marry anybody in any family. But in Indian culture, it is not allowed. So far. But nowadays, the society is changing. But in earlier days, pan-Indian culture, that cross-cousin marriage is there. Then we cannot call all the people, mother's relatives and father's relatives and the neighbor as uncle and auntie. Then you should be careful. In what sense that word uncle is used in English diction? And how do you translate that diction into the target language? For example, the kick the bucket. Kick the bucket. What is the meaning of that idiom? Many of my students who don't know, they will translate literally. Avan bucket like that only. So mostly. But that idiom has more than 20 expressions in Tamil. More than 20. In English they have only one idiom, and According to the context in Tamil, we have more than 20 expressions. That gives funny meanings. So if a elderly person is living in, so I will simply, an elderly person is living in the front part of the room, and if he dies, people will happy, and the kalame puttukita, like that. This is a derogative word. Like that, they will translate. Like that, there are two other things, semantics and pragmatics. Just I will introduce what is it, and I will elaborately say what is the. So tomorrow lecture is going to be about the structure and the meaning, form and meaning. How form and meaning plays that equal role in linguistics as well as in the translation. So there I will talk about semantics in detail, and semantic is the meaning of the words, pragmatic is the use of the language. So if you take the idioms, I told you kick in the bucket, you cannot translate as direct. So there the language use is different, per idioms, phrases and those things. So that we will discuss elaborately in tomorrow's lecture, what is semantics and pragmatics. And this diagram gives you what is phonetics, speech sounds, phonology, phonemes, and morphology, words, syntax, phrases and sentences, semantics, literal meaning of phrases and sentences, and pragmatics, meaning in context of discourse. This is the structure of any language. These things, that is theoretical, and the meaning of those things given in the diagram. So all the languages possess the structure of this one. These structures are exploited in translation. That is what we are going to see in the next class. And if you have one or two doubts, you can ask me. So apart from this, in morphology, we study about inflection derivation, wave formation. What is inflection? Inflection affixes. The affixes are also divided into inflectional affixes and derivational affix. How do we differentiate inflectional affixes from the derivational affixes? So, when you add an affix to a word, if the grammatical category of that word doesn't change, then it is an inflectional affix. If the grammatical category of that word changes, then it is a derivational affix. Normally it is a suffix and it is a derivational suffix, and if you add this then it becomes dancer. The grammatical category, dance verb, changes from verb to noun, then it is derivational category. So derivational affix, and that process called the derivation, and this is an inflectional suffix, and the process is called inflection. So how will you form your verb in languages? By using this inflection and derivation, you can make your verb. So by using the nominator, verbalizer, beauty, noun. If you add full, beautiful, adjectivalizer, then it becomes a beauty a noun, as well as it can be a adjective, and if you add a inflectional suffix, then it becomes a beautiful, and not derivational suffix, then it becomes the adjective. So like that, you can add affixes to words, and by using the process inflection or derivation, you can form the words in any language. So in translation also, you can create many words by using this process. So you know that basically a translator should be well versed in the source language as well as target language. if you don't know the structures of the target language, it is not possible for you to translate. And if you don't know the source language structure, it is not possible. That's why it is very much important to know about the structures of languages. There comes the importance of linguistics in translation. Translation as well as linguistics are dealing with the structures of languages. So, in morphology, we can study about the word formation and about the root, stem, affixes, derivation, like that. These are about the words, not about the sentence. So, where you can study about the root stem within the word. Where you can study about affixes within the word. And how you apply the process of derivation and inflection in the word. That's why, what is morphology? Morphology deals with the internal structure of the word. So, you can start in morphology, you can start from morpheme. Morpheme, what is morpheme? The minimum meaningful unit which you cannot further divided into meaningful units. It may be a single phoneme or combination of one to many phonemes. Yes, in Tamil we call phoneme It means how. Like that, in your languages also, there may be a single phoneme gives a meaning. So, what is morpheme? Morpheme is a minimum meaningful unit which cannot be further divided into meaningful unit. So, you cannot say that a stage can be divided into stan and G, like that. So, that G doesn't give any meaning. So, stage is the word as well as a morpheme, because we are not able to divide that one into a smaller meaningful units. So, phoneme is the first basic unit in language. Phoneme is the first basic unit, and morpheme is the second basic unit, and third one is the word, where that sentence again go to discourse. So, phoneme, morpheme, word, sentence, discourse. These are the levels of the basic units of your language. Then, do you have any doubt on morphology? Huh? Yes, the syllable, your stress pass and the vowel. The core of the syllable is the vowel, not anything, the consonants. So, peak, coda, then, not nuclear. Peak is the vowel, and coda is the combining vowel, consonants. So, where you stress on your vowel, according to that only the meaning difference. So, syllable is entirely different from morpheme. Morpheme is the, it is not necessary to put the stress where, like that. But for syllable, you should be very careful. The stress is put up on the vowel, the peak, not on the coda, like that. So, there is a difference between syllable and morpheme. Yes, like that, yeah. CVC is the pattern. CVC, that is the pattern, and both the C's are optional, V is compulsory. You cannot find a word without a vowel. So, without a vowel, you cannot form a word. That is the CVC, CCVC, and CVC, V itself, then CVCC, like that the syllable structures. There are many, up to 10, you can say. So that is the structure of the syllable. Hmm? Rhythm, that is different. That is that comes under stylistics. That comes under stylistics. Assonance, dissonance, all those things comes under. It gives the aesthetic sense. Rhythm, all those things gives the aesthetic sense to the language. Without those aesthetic sense, we cannot read the language. It will already learning a language is boring, and without any aesthetic things, we cannot learn a language. That is why the poets, they are using, they are apart from the regular grammar. So to bring the aesthetic sense, they are using the assonance. In Tamil we used to say yedige monere, like that, those things. And these rhythms also one of the stylistic device. Stylistic, there are so many devices. One among them is rhythm. Then coming to syntax. So syntax is the study of the internal structure of the language. Internal structure of the sentence, sorry. Internal structure of the sentence. What is a sentence? Huh? Arrangement of words. So what are the basic elements of a sentence? No. Sir, how will you define a simple sentence? A simple sentence is an unmarked sentence. Unmarked simple sentence in any language contains a subject, object, verb. Subject, object, verb. An unmarked simple sentence in a language, in any language, consists of subject, object, verb. There may be some sentence which may lack a subject, which may lack an object. Where they are meaningful, and we call them as sometimes phrase, class, all those things are there. So, in any language, a simple sentence. What is a simple sentence? It should be unmarked. Marked means there may be adjective, adverbs, all those things may be there. But a simple sentence consists of three elements: subject, object, verb, in any language. That's why the world languages are classified into 6 types. We can use the words in a sentence. How we can use the words? Like the word reads. Reads is a word. We can use this in a sentence as Mary reads the book. Mary reads the book. In other words, the book is readable. So we are using a single word in different contexts. One, it functions as a verb. Mary reads a book. And the book is readable. Readable? Adverb. It's a adverb. So, an unmarked simple sentence may consist of subject, object, verb. That's in any language. These 3 constraints will be there. And you may classify the sentence from the preliminary classes. You might have studied simple, complex, compound sentence. A simple sentence, complex sentence, compound sentence. Apart from that, you might have studied what is a phrase, what is a class, all those things. Why we have to study all those things? Sometimes, when you are translating from one text to another text, you are not able to translate a word into a word in a target language. So at that time, you need to translate or explain that word in the target language in a sentence. Like that. How will you describe the kungum? Kungum, all the married women used to put the kungum in the forehead. In English culture, is it that? No. Then there are words, uncle. Uncle. In Tamil, we have number of terms for uncle and auntie. Even mother's sister, mother's brother, father's sister, father's brother, their spouses, and the neighbor who is living in our neighbor houses, all are addressed by auntie and uncle. And in a novel which reflects the culture of the Dravidian language, how do you translate that uncle? Whether it is a neighbor or your mother's sister's husband or your mother's brother. So we have the cross-cousin marriage. In India, we have cross-cousin marriage, but English culture don't have that type of marriages. They will marry anybody in any family. But in Indian culture, it is not allowed. So far. But nowadays, the society is changing. But in earlier days, pan-Indian culture, that cross-cousin marriage is there, that we cannot call all the people, mother's relatives and father's relatives and the neighbor as uncle and auntie. Then you should be careful. In what sense that word uncle is used in English diction? And how do you translate that diction into the target language? For example, they kicked the bucket. He kicked the bucket. What is the meaning of that idiom? Many of my students who don't know, they will translate literally. Avan bucket like that only. So mostly. But that idiom has more than 20 expressions in Tamil. More than 20. In English they have only one idiom, and according to the context in Tamil we have more than 20 expressions. That gives funny meanings. So if a elderly person is living in so I will simply, an elderly person is living in the front part of the room, and if he dies, people will happy, and the kalame puttukita, like that. This is a derogative word. Like that, they will translate. Like that, there are two other things, semantics and pragmatics. Just I will introduce what is it, and I will elaborately say what is the. So tomorrow the lecture is going to be about the structure and the meaning, form and meaning. How form and meaning plays that equal role in linguistics as well as in the translation. So there I will talk about semantics in detail, and semantics is the meaning of the words, pragmatics is the use of the language. So if you take the idioms, I told you kick the bucket, you cannot translate as directly. So there the language use is different for idioms, phrases and those things. So that we will discuss elaborately in tomorrow's lecture, what is semantics and pragmatics. And this diagram gives you what is phonetics, speech sounds, phonology, phonemes, and morphology, words, syntax, phrases and sentences, semantics, literal meaning of phrases and sentences, and pragmatics, meaning in context of discourse. This is the structure of any language. These things, that is theoretical, and the meaning of those things given in the diagram. So all the languages possess the structure of this one. These structures are exploited in translation. That is what we are going to see in the next class. And if you have one or two doubts, you can ask me. Question.
Ma'am, I have a query regarding this word lumbas, which means come out, and there is one infix
Is in
infix.
Yes.
So with the infix it means come out, and if we remove the infix, does it carry any meaning?
Yes, that gives different meaning. Kitab is book. K-I-T-A-P, kitab is book. And if you replace that sound E, by some other, to read, it gives the meaning to read. Ka, ta, pa, 3 consonants, that is the word, and if you change the vowels in between them, E-A, that will give some other meaning, and A-U, that will give. So that type of words you can see in the Hebrew language. So if you remove the and substitute some other infixes, it will give some other meaning, like that.
Thank you. Ma'am, can you define what is an unmarked sentence?
Unmarked. So the basic sentence, pa is an unmarked phoneme, voiceless, and if ba is a unmarked. If you compare pa and ba, I am giving example from phonology. Pa is an unmarked sound. If you compare with ba, a voiced sound. Ba, a voiced sound, is unmarked if you compare with a aspirated sound. Ba, ba, like that. So it depends on the comparison. So a simple thing is an unmarked one, and if you add some features to that element, and then it is marked.